guys? My name is Doug. Welcome back to another video. Welcome to the channel. I am very glad to see you guys here today as we're going to be listening to this The Life of Pierre 4 Deluxe version. We got 15 new tracks. It's basically another album, really, that Pierre Bourne is dropping, and I'm excited. A lot of you guys that are going to be watching this one have seen my original The Life of Pierre 4 reaction. If you haven't, it's still up on the channel. You can go and check that out. But be warned that going into that project the first time, I didn't really enjoy it too much. I kind of was overthinking everything, and I wasn't really just enjoying the music. I was like over-analyzing his performance and the lyrics and things like that. And really, Pierre just makes music for you to vibe out to. A couple listens later with that project, and it really grew on me, but everyone was stuck with that idea that I didn't really enjoy the project because of my first reaction to it. So I had to go back a few months later and pin a new comment there saying that I actually really enjoy that project now. And so going into this new deluxe version, it's going to be a really chill video, okay? I'm not going to be overthinking everything. You're not going to get crazy, like analytical, super in-depth opinions, maybe on some of the beats, but I'm not really going to be, you know, over-critiquing his performance or the lyrics or anything like that. I am just going to be listening to the music, chilling out, and trying to vibe to some of these tracks. That's really what I'm going to be judging these tracks on. Are they wavy? Are they a vibe? Or are they not, you know? So it's gonna be a really chill video. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. Before we get right into it, I wanna plug the Patreon and the membership options on the channel. I'm super appreciative of all the support that the channel has gotten so far. We're at over 16,100 subscribers, and that means a lot to me. But I just want to say a huge, extra special shout out to the patrons and the members on the channel, because they absolutely help me to keep these videos coming as often as I can, as high quality as I can. And they're the reasons that I'm able to like crowdfund in order to make different segments and ideas and implement them into the channel. It's because of the patrons that putting y'all on is free, and it's going to stay that way. All that extra support coming from the patrons is just greatly appreciated, and it's a great way for you to support as well if you're into that. So yeah, check out those tiers, see if it's worth your while. It might be worth your while to become a supporter, and then eventually the more patrons we get, the better the actual rewards we'll get as well, and you'll be able to participate in all of those. So yeah, something else that I'm really excited about. And with that said, let's jump right into the music. So let me just pull it up on Spotify because I don't have it up yet because I'm super unprofessional. As always, guys, I live on a really busy intersection, so there's going to be some background noise, cars and all that. I'm going to try to cut most of it out as often as I can. So yeah, I'm sorry if there are points where you hear that. All right, so the first track on this deluxe version is Got a Blast. The last track of that original project was Speed Dial, so that's what we're starting off. Let's see what Pierre Bourne has for us. On my way. Fire, dude. I have no complaints for this. Yeah, man, it's just a fire track. It's a really cool opener for this deluxe version. It's got lots of energy to it. I like the melodies that he's singing. You know, I think that he's really riding the beat very well. It's catchy. It's got a nice bounce to it. To the production, obviously, it's Pierre Bourne. What can you expect? You know. I like the layering on his vocals for the hook. I think that it creates some nice depth to the song, I guess. Yeah, I like it. It's a vibe. It's got a really fun feeling to it, and it's really easy to listen to. Joe Morris is next. Oh, did he do the thing where they all transition into each other again? That little bell, the high-pitched one, is so sweet. The clap could be a little louder. The harmonies are really dope whenever he layers the vocals. Yeah, it's a crazy simple track. Like I said, the little bell, that high-pitched sound going on a little loop is really cool. I think that could be turned down a little bit because it's high enough pitched that it's still going to stand out in the beat. I think that the hi-hats are a little too loud, and I think that the clap is a little too quiet. But like I said, any heavy analyzing we're going to be doing is on the production. His performance is catchy. It's a little repetitive, but the song is only 2 minutes long, so you know it's fun to listen to. It sits nicely in the background. The main focus of the track is the general vibe, so His lyrics don't do too much to distract us from the general feeling of the track. Really cool harmonies with the layering of his vocals again, and it's a fun song to just kind of sit in the background, you know what I mean? His beats and his music has a tendency to just be like mind-numbingly repetitive and catchy, and you kind of just have it on in the background and you get lost in it, which is why it's so fun to just kind of vibe out to it. You could just be listening to it and let your thoughts like roam, you know? It's really easy to do that listening to his music, so this is good for that. Next track is for L. There are some interesting synth horns going on. I think that that's what he's using for those chords in the background is synthetic horns. They sound really cool, and I like the little chord progression that he has going on there. It kind of sets this beat apart from the other ones, because in terms of the drum patterns, they can get a little similar. What really sets them apart from each other is the melodies going on in the background. And I like that he chose those horns for this one. His heat, similar to the other tracks, but it's fire. You know, not a whole lot of variety because the tracks kind of flow one into the other. The hi-hat patterns have been very similar. They've all been a very similar kind of tempo. Like I said, what really sets them apart from each other are their melodies. Again, his performance doesn't do too much to distract us from everything else that's going on in the track. Kind of keeps the vibe going. It's one seamless experience all the way through. I'm worried that for 15 tracks, it might get a little repetitive, but I mean, normally people are going to be listening to this just to vibe out anyways, so it might not even take that long. Like, it might just all fly very, very quickly. The tracks have been pretty short, so that's cool too. BB's Kidz is next. This one's fire. I like this one because what happened here was there are very little melodies going on in the background, right? It's the drum patterns, the 808s, and a really cool little plucked string, but there aren't any major synths or pads going on right now. And there's a really heavy focus on his voice and on his performance. And so his verse is a little bit more technical, it's a little quicker, and his voice definitely stands out from the rest of the track a little bit more on this track than on those other ones. And I think that he's approaching it with a really confident, like, you know, performance, and I think it just sounds fire for a different reason than some of these other tracks. And I like it when he has songs like this that stand out from the rest, so that's cool. Some new melodies going on. This is cool. Yeah, it's cool. I feel like this one was longer than the other ones, and so it got old a little quicker than some of the other ones, but if he had made this like 30 seconds shorter, it would have been a really cool banger. You know, and I think that the melodies that he added along to that little plucked string are pretty cool too. You know, that one's a great track. It started off as one of the standout songs, in my opinion, but like I said, since it just went a little on for too long a little bit, it kind of quickly got a little boring towards the end portion there, but still okay. I wouldn't skip it necessarily. I would probably let it play if I'm listening to the project. Sauce Girl is next. The tempo is slowing down, it feels like. Wow. I like that 808 pattern. Yeah, that's fire. A little bit of variety, I like it. Yeah, man, that's an interesting song because it starts off a little similar to the other ones, but about halfway through it, the tempo gets way slower, and we get a really different 808 pattern than something that we've been listening to for these other tracks. Like I said, the drum patterns tend to be a little similar track after track when you've got to make them all fit together. So I like that halfway through that when he switched it up a little bit and gave us some variety to listen to, something different. That's definitely a vibe. It's one of my favorites so far too. Sauce Boy is next. Hey, a loud clap. That's what I'm talking about. something about a clap that just kind of slaps you in the face really just gets your head bobbing. You know what I mean? It feels like it's energy. It brings that fire to the track. It brings that extra snap that you need on those 2s and 4s. You know what I mean? So, or in this case, on every third beat because it's halftime. So. I love this melody he's singing. Yeah, this is a vibe, dude. The atmosphere is crazy. It's dope, man. Another beat switch up about halfway through the track. I think it's great. I love that atmosphere to the second half of this track. It definitely feels very spacey, really easy to get lost in that production. It's got like a very crazy sound and a great sound design for all the synths and pads that he used. I mean, Deja Vu is next. Yeah, the first half of that track was pretty boring in my opinion. The second half was really cool. I like that he had a little bit of a different kind of bounce to it because of that bass line. I just feel like it came a little too late in the track. If it had come a little earlier, this track would have been better overall in my opinion, but for right now, it's not really one of my favorites just because of how underwhelming that first half kind of was. Purple Jeans is next. Speeding it up. Hey.
Autobots, pass me the sauce.
Keeps talking about sauce, bro. I can't get enough of those harmonies. That one's better, especially coming off of that last one. He picked up the tempo a little bit, had that typical Pierre Bourne bounce to it. I love the call and response, right? He says something and then the background vocals respond to him with really great harmonies, and it just adds a little bit to that vibe of the track in general, you know, that really catchy, like almost poppy kind of vibe to it. I think it's dope, you know, it's gonna get stuck in your head, it's catchy, it's great to vibe out to, really cool. Conspiracy is next. I need a heavy bass drop, bro. Let's go. Yeah. The delayed drop is great. I like it. He's kind of going off. It's a dope track. I like how consistent he was with his performance and his flow on this song. I like when he stopped singing and started actually rapping. I think he did a great job on his verse too. He's kind of going off. I like his flow. I like how catchy the hook is, you know, for this. I like how catchy the melody is on this track. It's got a dope vibe to it. I added it to my playlist. It's one of the standout tracks for sure. Motto is next. An octave lower. That's dope. I kind of like actually the way his voice sounds when he drops it an octave like this to do his verse. I think that the way his voice when it's deeper like this it might sound better than his normal voice actually. It kind of adds a different feel to the track, you know. It's almost like a Travis Scott kind of vibe all of a sudden. I think it's dope. Yeah, the beat switch up was okay. I was feeling the first half a little bit more, honestly, but I think again a minute could have been taken off of this track, have the beat switch up come a little earlier, and I think I might have enjoyed it a little bit more. The songs that go over 3.5 minutes, it's really tough to have me enjoy it when it's tracks like this that you're just kind of meant to vibe out to. You should generally, as a rule, keep them a little bit shorter for sure. But still, it's a nice track. It's not one of my favorites. It's dope though. Growing Pains is next. Those synths are nuts. Yeah, I really like those synths that are going on in the background. In terms of its actual drums and tempo, it's very similar to a lot of these other tracks. And if you're actively listening to this stuff, it's going to get repetitive. You've got to just be having like a passive listen, have it on in the background, and it'll almost like pull you out of whatever it is that you're doing and keep you distracted, and you can just get lost in the production and kind of zone out a little bit. And that's really what this is kind of for. So yeah, I don't see that as a problem in that context. Again, it's kind of just an okay track. It's not bad, but it is just one more song, you know what I mean? JP is next. Yeah, I definitely like his voice deeper. It just adds like a darker vibe to the song. You guys want eggs? They're selling eggs. Only in Brazil, dude. You will never see that in the US. A guy driving down the street selling egg cartons, and he's got a giant speaker on his car just advertising eggs. You want some? Come get them. And then people will leave their houses, give this guy money, and buy eggs from him. This is Brazilian entrepreneurship, man. It's very creative. What was I saying? Completely forget. Oh yeah, the deeper voice adds kind of like a darker feel to the song. So I enjoy that. Sometimes I feel like when he's really belting and his voice is getting a little too high, he's almost going for like a little Uzi Vert sound. But when his voice is lower like this, it really feels a little bit more authentic and unique in that aspect. You know what I mean? High-pitched rappers on beats like this, we've got enough of them, But when Pierre actually uses his chest voice, it goes a little deeper. It sounds like a Pierre track, and it sounds authentically his. And it sounds like you couldn't substitute him for anyone else, and I like that about it. Yeah, that's on the playlist. It's like fun and sweet. It's dope. Yeah, it's just like a really fun, dope, quick, sweet track. It's fun to vibe out to. I added it to my playlist. What can I say? It's a dope track. Simon Says is next.
I got dope, man, that shit did not fall. Get this Rolex, now these hoes like, yes. My niggas so blessed. I just got this check, so my mama don't stress.
Yeah, it's dope. I was kind of zoning out a little bit. I had it going on in the background, and it didn't sound bad to me. It's very easy to get lost in the music, as always. I like the background vocals that go on whenever he finishes his bar. It's an okay track. It's not special or anything like that, but it's not bad. TBH is next.
She's gon' go and everybody else knows. Know I gotta put my team on. Sauce sales, yeah, she's home giving me. If you need up, well, I'm busy as fuck. And lay with him, big queens.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Not bad at all. I'm not mad at that one. Got a catchy little vibe to it. It's fun song. Last track is Fortune Cookie. Yo, Pierre! Yeah! I like it. I like that. Yeah. Ooh. He called us broke. It's okay, bro. It's not bad. It's kind of fun, Not much more than that. Yeah, like I said, it's a fun song, and it's not much more than that. And it doesn't try to be more than that, so that's okay. If this is what you're expecting going into it, then you're not going to be disappointed. It's a fun track for you to listen to. have it on while you're driving, you know, have it on while you're, I don't know, washing dishes or sweeping or vacuuming or whatever. Have it on in the background while you're doing something else. It's gonna put you in a good mood. It's gonna be a fun song to listen to. It's got a vibe to it. It's got a cool bounce to it, and it's gonna you know, be fun to listen to. So that's really all that it tries to do, and it's successful at that. And that's something that I didn't understand going into the first listen to this. And that's the reason that I kind of overanalyzed and didn't really thoroughly enjoy it the first time around. And coming into this deluxe version with that mentality, I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, a lot of these tracks are just meant to be fun vibes, and that's what they are. And taking them for what they are, it's a blast to listen to them. You know, it's got some fun vibes to it. It's got some nice bounces to it. A few tracks with a little bit of a slower tempo, different 808 patterns. Pierre Bourne experimenting a little bit with his performance, dropping the octave every now and then, layering the performances with some harmonies and extra vocals, things like that, just to keep things a little spicy, a little interesting, you know, so that one track can flow into the next without necessarily sounding exactly the same. So yeah, I mean, this is a great project for you to just shuffle, and any song that comes on is pretty decent. You know, you're not gonna dislike it. Or you could just listen to it all the way through and all the tracks flow into each other, and it's also really interesting to hear how he does that as well. So yeah, very enjoyable, very fun. Can't wait to go back and listen to it and add a few more of these songs onto the playlist. Those are my thoughts on this. And speaking of the playlist, I'm going to be making that playlist public for the patrons. So for every tier, if you're going to become a patron, even for just $1, you're going to be able to have access to this playlist. I'm going to be officially announcing that in a future video sometime very, very soon. I'm still working on the playlist and polishing it up for you guys. But yeah, that's going to be fun as well. So thank you guys so much for all the support that you guys have shown to the channel. I really appreciate it. Check out those tiers on Patreon and on the membership options for the channel. You guys are the best. Thank you all so much for everything that you guys have done to the channel so far. Be sure to share the video, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. I look forward to seeing you guys around for the next video that I'm going to be doing on Tiana Taylor's new album. And I'll be back very soon. Until then, stay safe. Peace out.